In knitting, there are lots of different ways you can add stitches. One of the ways is called a make one. And there's a make one left and a make one right. And this is another thing, that every time I have a pattern that I am doing a make one, right or left, I have to go look up how I do that. Often I go find a YouTube video. I had an epiphany. But basically, if you pay attention to the direction that the stitches are intended to go. So here along this seam, you can see how the stitches are leaning out this way. That's because we're adding stitches. And so see how this column is shorter than this column because we're adding a stitch, and now that's a new stitch. And so it's growing. And so these are leaning to the right and these are leaning to the left. Okay, so that's step one in my keeping track of where I do a right and where I do a left. Okay, I put these markers here so that I know before this marker, I'm going to do a make one right because I've got the visual reminder here. And then also here after this marker, so these two stitches in the middle, you just knit them normal. But then on either side of them, you're going to add a stitch. So here they're leaning to the left, so I know I'm going to make one left. Now the trick is, how do you do a make one left? And how do you do a make one right? And how do I know the difference? And how do I remember that they're different? And I know I'm not alone in this. But what I found is that when you get to your make one and you know you're making a make one right, I'm picking up this strand here and lifting it onto my left needle. Now, how do you know if it's left or right? It's the direction that the front leg, see this front leg, is leaning. So see how this one is leaning to the right? And this one, when I pick it up and then put my left needle through the front of it, do you see how the front leg is leaning to the left? So that is how you would do your make one left on this side. Then, okay, then the next question is, how do I know where to put my needle to pull the yarn through? And the answer there is, if you're able to get your needle in really easily, that's not right. Because it should be a little tricky to get your needle into the spot where you pull it through. And that's because you're effectively twisting that stitch around when you make it so that you don't have a hole in this spot where you've added stitches. So I don't know if that helps you, but it helped me. Okay.